Episode 374 on Monday the 11th of January. I'm guessing that because it's not even New Year yet. So there's a story to tell before I get into this week's In My Mug. I set off with 2 coffees to record 2 In My Mugs while I'm away, and then realised I'm actually away for 3 weeks.
Oh,
yeah, because I'm an idiot. So Ali has very kindly supplied us with some coffee that is going to be the In My Mug for this week, so we actually can do one, which is kind of good. I think these dudes know you by now, but I guess you should introduce yourself.
Hey guys, it's Alejandro from Finca, Argentina, at Finca, Argentina with you today.
That's the first time we've done one here, isn't it?
I think it is the first time. Yeah.
He's normally in the studio looking uncomfortable.
I am.
Wrapped up in many jumpers, because it's normally cold.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. Not like here, where it's comfortable and nice.
It's not comfortable, it's boiling. It's boiling, boiling hot. So, been buying from Ali now for 4 years?
5
years?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not buying any this year. Have I not told you?
Ew.
Oops. 5 years this year. And it's kind of cool the way that we kind of met. And I'm sure some people know the story because I harp on about it a lot, but save me talking because I've got a sore throat. You know, tell them about how we met and how
we sent a sample to Steve over coffee randomly, and because he is the kind of person that will try anything, so he tried it, and he thought, this is good coffee, it's not bad. So we got in touch, and then he visited the farm on a really quick trip. I'm 1 hour here, and
I seem to remember you picking me up from a hotel lobby at like 4 a.m. or something like 5 a.m.
It was like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
He only had like a couple of hours, so we managed to get here, saw the farm, we got along great, and we've developed a relationship where we've done a lot of projects here, we've shared a lot of ideas. He doesn't believe in a lot of things that I'm doing, but I need to show him that it actually works, so we'll see how that goes in a few years.
So, you may remember the t-shirts we had last year with the gnomes on them. Ali believes that gnomes are making his coffee better. And
don't believe on the gnomes.
And who's pushing the flowers up? Is that the gnomes?
According to the biodynamic people, the gnomes push the plants up. So what we are doing is we're starting to do our fertilizer on the farm for foliar spraying. We're doing composting. We're getting minerals that we're incorporating into the soil. We're looking into a lot of permaculture initiatives and things like that.
So I think it's time to call you out. Do you want to tell the good people who sent you money in like good faith that you've told them a lie?
About?
So you said to me last year, we'd love to get the pulp back on the farm. Steve, is there any way we can do that? And we're like, we could sell some lip balm to our lovely customers who are watching there, and that money would go towards bringing that pulp back up. And they all thought, that's a good idea, I'd like to do that. So do you want to say anything to the people you've lied to?
No, so we're doing composting on bokashi, right? And in order to do that, you need an area that's roofed, so that you can maintain the humidity level that you start with and control it, and shaded so the sun doesn't screw you up or the rain screw you up. So, and then working with coffee pulp for composting is a challenge, and because we've had some experience with it in the past, and it was kind of difficult, so we decided instead of doing with coffee pulp, we're gonna do with chicken droppings. Is that the proper word for your audience?
It is, yeah, because we are a child rated. I don't know why, but on iTunes we are child rated.
So we're doing
for some reason.
Chicken droppings.
Attitude.
We're going to use chicken droppings with coming wet, and that provides the nitrogen into the compost. And for the carbon piece, instead of using pulp that is also wet, and it will make it very hard for us to control the humidity, we're going to use coffee parchment and rice parchment as well. So we use the money that Steve helped.
You guys pay.
Oh, you guys pay because of the lip balm. But we use that for the area that we needed for processing. And Steve, I'm sure you're going to incorporate some pictures in it.
Do you know, if the guys who, because I'm not editing it because I'm away, if the guys who are editing it for me, go to my Instagram page, there'll be an Instagram picture of it they can put up.
All right, so
my Instagram, and you can also follow me on Instagram, and Ali on Instagram at Finca Argentina, and that has been.
So the picture of the composting area is already there. We're going to have people full-time working there. We have 2 people that are going to be year-round just coming out with compost, and we expect to put about 3 tons of compost per manzana, and we're looking at about 60 tons for this year of compost. About 20 manzanas we're going to be applying that in.
I think that's the closest we're going to get to an apology, guys, about him robbing our money from us and spending it in inappropriate ways. No, it's a great idea. I mean, I'm being mean to you again because it's so much fun being mean to you. But I actually think over the next 12 months, 2 years, the big talking topic with producing is compost. I really do. I'm hearing so many people talking about feeding the soil and how important the soil is. It's a real hot topic, and I think it's only going to get bigger. I mean, you've been talking about it for a couple of years, the biocharing that you've been doing for a while,
right.
and all of these things. And I think, I think it's a really good idea. I think it can. It certainly can't hurt. Like, you know, feeding the soil doesn't sound like a bad thing to me, unless you feed it poison. Don't feed it poison, will you?
I will not.
No.
So we separated because we're slowly transitioning the farm into more of a sustainable organic approach. Basically, we're starting with the new areas that we have replanted. We're doing organic, and we're still adding fertilizer. No pesticides whatsoever. No fungicides. No herbicides. No pesticides at all. But we're still applying fertilizer, and the whole idea is to start with those. The other part of the farm, we're still managing that area traditionally, so everything that's chemical, pesticides, fertilizer, we move to an area over there. So it's separated from all the organic things that we're doing, which actually we're doing down there. So it's filled with barrels and cow dung and...
It smells disgusting, by the way.
Oh, it smells beautiful for an organic farmer. It's heaven.
Horrible.
But he doesn't like it.
So, we should talk about this week's coffee a little bit more. So we have lots of coffees from you, from lots of tablons, and you have a particular tablon that has Catimor on it.
Correct.
So I think it would be fair to say that Catimor's not very popular, tends to be with coffee buyers. Like, why is that?
I think there are a lot of bad Catimors, so they get a bad rep, and I thought the same myself. The Catimors are awful. It just produces well, but it's an awful cup and an awful coffee. And Steve at one point, like 3 years ago, said like, "Oh, you have Catimor there? Can you just please separate it?" And we cupped it, and actually it tasted really well. And we're like, so weird. Yeah. And there's so many varieties of Catimors. I have no idea which one I have, to be honest, but it may be one that for this area and for this climate, it just works perfectly.
Well, this is the thing, is I don't think there's such a thing as a bad varietal. There's a bad place for a varietal to live.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing is you can, if you find the right place for it, like we seem to have with this one. I mean, we cooked some Catimors today that weren't so bad,
they were not that good.
And you know, it's a new place where they were put, and maybe it's just not suited to that. But so, what is a Catimor? What is the difference?
Oh, so Catimor is a Timor hybrid with a Caturra.
Yeah.
So that's basically a Catimor, but they try different strains and from different parents. It's just.
And why would you use that particularly?
And the best thing, and it's interesting because for me it's great that it is resistant to leaf rust, and that's sort of what it's known for. And I was visiting another farm from a friend called Luis Rodriguez that Steve also buys from.
San Jose, what's the La Gloria, and
So he had all these Catimors, and I'm like, okay, so you have Catimors, how are they? And he's like, hate them, because they don't get rust, but they get another disease in that area, because there's more humidity there, and that disease is even worse than leaf rust. It's ojo de gallo, and we don't have that here. So for us, the Catimors here were great. So I don't know, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
But they were coping great because they don't get leaf rust. They're able to work better in terms of photosynthesis and obtaining nutrients from the soil. So the bean turns out okay. And then the other thing that we notice is we pick the bourbon at a certain color, but with the Catimor, you gotta let it ripe a little bit more. Like, the color is not the right indicator, and it's the last coffee that we harvest here at the farm. So it's very ripe when we pick it.
And which tablon is it from?
From Finca 1.
Finca 1, which is just...
No, it's that way.
That way,
Yeah.
that way. So, I think that's enough information about the coffee. It's a special guest appearance this week because Roland's obviously not here because I wouldn't bring him to El Salvador because he's a clown. So it's time for Ali's Daft Fact of the Week.
So this is the Daft Fact of the Week, and it's about Finca, Argentina. And the house that we're in right now, or out, I guess, we're on the terrace, but this house is over 100 years old and is made out of adobe. And trust me, it looks like 100 years old. And we want to tear it down at some point, but we're still torn. We don't know. He's old, but he's old.
We'll probably end up sending him some money and he'll tear it down with that, saying it's for something else.
No. Okay, so that's the Daft Fact of the Week.
At last, a daft fact that isn't complete nonsense like Blue always comes up with. So now it's time for the map bit, yeah? And I guess we'll be coming down onto the house somewhere because I seem to remember the map bit zooms onto the house.
I think
here, so
zooms
where we're going to zoom down to is where I am. So here I am, but I'm also joined this time with Ali because he's come on the mic. Say hello, Ali.
Hey, hello guys.
So we're going up, up, up and away, and that's England.
Inglaterra, yes.
Inglaterra, see. So here we are in Central America. A lot of coffees from Central America and an awful lot from El Salvador. We kind of have a whole spine of coffees in El Salvador. I'm going to hand you over now to Ali to tell you about this bit.
So we're zooming in El Salvador, as you can see. And yeah, it is known as the land of the volcanoes. That's what Cuscatlan actually means, is the valley of the hammocks, because it shakes so much. Now we're zooming into the west part of the country. And you can see Finca Argentina up there. We're starting to zoom in. It's in Apaneca-Lamatepec range. And that's
the actual
right
house there, isn't it? So you can.
Yeah.
It was obviously a clear day when Google Earth came to town.
True. That big patch you see there is the geothermal, I guess, perforations that they did on the farm.
So that was the bit that you were saying that you sold to the geothermic company.
Yeah.
Is that Guatemala in the distance?
And in the back you see Guatemala, the yellow line to the left. That would be Guatemala. And taking Steve to see some farms on the right side of that this year.
Fantastic! I can't wait. It's a part of the country I've never been to, so it's kind of good to get the other bit. And now we can see how close the Pacific Ocean is really to the farm. But we're at what 1,400 meters, but
Right,
that close
yeah.
to the sea. So it's a steep up volcano part, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, as you can notice from this zoom in picture. Yeah.
And that was the jewel, that bit. Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Okay, it's time to whap you on pause. We're going to go and make a cafetiere of this drink because it's the easiest way to do it up here. And we'll be back with you in just a second.
And we're doing it at the farm, and we probably pause, maybe.
Yeah.
Record a little bit how we do that, so you see it's very rudimentary.
Cool.
All right.
Back with you in a minute.
Va llenándolo.
Is this
Hasta
like an
aquí.
Uber boiler?
Échale así.
Is this like an Uber boiler, Ali?
No,
No?
this is the mega boiler. Yeah. There we go, you see. Open fire. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you like our ice scales? They're good, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. They're very good.
So while you're pressing that, Ali, you were just telling me about what you've done with some of the accommodation here. So you've like cleaned it up and slowly improving things. I mean, is that part of the plan to just kind of consistently improve the farm? Because from the first time I came 5 years ago to now, I think it's changed quite a lot.
Yeah, I've been trying to get more involved.
Yeah.
And one of the
So
things...
5 years ago when I first came, how long have you been involved in the farm? I mean, it wasn't long, was it?
No, it was about 2 years.
Right.
And well, El Salvador, you need to live here or visit to understand it, but a lot of the owners don't visit the farm, they just send a manager. So in the beginning I was coming here maybe once a week, and then I slowly started coming more often. My dad didn't want me to come alone, for example. He's like, don't go to the farm on your own, it's dangerous. And it is El Salvador, but at the end of the day, it's something you need to look out for, like the whole property. So I started to get more involved, and once, as an owner, you spend time here, you notice certain things that bother me. So it's like, oh, this shouldn't be happening, like, because it's dangerous. They were storing chemicals inside the house, and that's a big no-no, you know, things like that. Like, so once you realize that, and then you try to make things better and improve, and so that's what we've been doing. It's difficult, but no, just press. Every year we've been trying to make it better, and so now we separated all the fertilizer far away, all the gasoline we need, or the fuel we need for some of the machines. They're separate as well. I got the people that live at the farm, which are like 3-4 people. So depending on time of year, but I got them a table for, you know, so they can be comfortable while eating dinner. Got them beds. Just little things that you don't notice until you start visiting and spending time with them, and then you realize, like, oh damn,
that would be a small thing that made life better.
Right, I need to improve conditions here, and something that wasn't planned, but you know, I mean, you notice, and then you want to make it better for them.
Yeah, that's cool. Before we dive into coffee, I guess we should tell people why I'm here at this time of year.
Oh, so Steve is on vacation, and
yeah, I believe holiday.
Yeah, and
you saw the Christmas filter blend video that was in the pool, like chilling the tallies.
I think that was the only. I guess that was, 30 minutes? That was the only time that he's been working.
It was 5 minutes, that's all.
5 minutes. Yeah. I mean, he's been on proper vacation. I've been making sure that he doesn't work, and we spend time at the beach and at the house, and it's great to have Steve over here, so.
Buddy. Best buddy. Right, we should dive into the coffee. So, I don't drink a lot of French presses, but I mean, for here, this is a perfect way of brewing, isn't it? It's like, you can screw it up a little bit and it'll let you off, so.
And we're far away, so it's tough, so.
And I think I love about French presses as well is the texture thing. You know, you really do get that texture of the coffee that you don't get with any others. You know, you do feel some of those fines coming through on the tongue.
And this water is special too, because this water actually comes from the farm, from a spring that we have way over there.
Is it approved by Maxwell?
That's what I was going to say. I'm not sure if it's Maxwell approved, but it's natural spring water.
Let's hope it is.
Yes. Gives it quite a particular taste.
The thing I remember about this coffee the most, and this is next year's crop, so you're tasting the like, it's not last year's, but it's the current crop. This is the coming crop, so it's the first stuff, and as Ali said, it's the last one they harvest, so this is super fresh.
Super fresh.
But what I remember about it the most is the aftertaste, and that texture of the French press with the black pepper aftertaste that comes through for me is like super prominent. It really helps that texture, because black pepper has that texture, doesn't it, when you're eating it, and I really like that. But it reminds me so much of the other Argentinas as well. It has that DNA of that milk chocolate smoothness, balanced. Like, it's a bit of a crowd pleaser because nobody hates this coffee. Like,
okay, interesting.
But you know, perhaps it wouldn't make somebody's like, you know, that's the best coffee I've ever had, but it's the most consistent coffee they've ever had. Because every time, I've got another one from Brazil called Cachoeiro, and I think you've tried
that. I've tried that Cachoeiro.
And I love that coffee, not because it blows my mind, it's because it's like this. It's consistent.
But it was because it was the first coffee that you fell in love with.
It was also that part, but I fell in love with it because it was that consistency, because it wasn't stupid tasting. You know, this has got a beautiful smooth milk chocolate thing running through it, but a beautiful black pepper on the aftertaste that makes it interesting. But it's not dominant, it's just sits there in the background. Yeah, it's great coffee.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, but I'm not paying any more for it. Listen, Ali, thank you for joining me. Thank you for doing this at the last minute. It was getting me out of a hole. I don't arrive back until the Tuesday, and this needs to be out on the Sunday, Monday, so it helps a lot. Thank you to the guys who are editing it for me as well. And
we're going to do a special with Steve at some point. Not this year, because we're special. We're gonna like shoot all the organic crap that we're doing at the farm.
I look forward to
it. And
you
want to appreciate. You want to appreciate now. You want to appreciate the smells, but I'm sure Steve's face will give you a sense of what it smells like.
Aroma.
So we'll go with that.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching, and do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee.